All right. So if you're a fan of reality television, if you're a fan of MTV's The Challenge, then you recognize this individual. And for those wondering why he is on a combat sports show, one, you know me, I like to get on anybody to talk combat sports, fighter or not, but also because he will actually be competing himself on August 6th, part of a boxing event pitting cast members from the show Big Brother. It's Big Brother US versus Big Brother Canada. The event goes down in Arlington, Texas. You can check it out on Fight TV. He's actually going to be taking on Adam Pike. Let us say hello to Josh Martinez. Josh, how are you, man?
Good, brother. How's it going?
It's going well. It's good to have you here. So you're coming off, I believe, your fourth season of the challenge, the double agent season. That was your fifth?
Yeah, well, they just actually, right before I jumped on, they just announced the new season. So I just did, this is my fifth season. And then the new season airs August 11th. They literally just released it this morning. So 5 seasons of the challenge. Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
So the double agent season's the last one you were on, and you made it pretty far once again. That's been like the story of your challenge run. You make it pretty far, but you come up just short before the final. So you've kind of experienced like both in some way, because you've lost an opening challenge, you got to come back, but you've also gone pretty far and come up short. What's worse, getting knocked out like right away or getting knocked out late in the game?
Oh, getting knocked out right away. I think that my whole challenge career has been such an uphill battle, but it's been something that has helped me grow so much and helped me deal with failure in a way where, like, I'm not really, when I fail, when I don't have success on the show, it doesn't set me back. If anything, it makes me work harder. But if I didn't have the opportunity to continue to come back season after season and kind of have a shot at playing the game that I've fallen in love with, or just having a shot at the money and going out first, that would have been a bummer. Yeah, my rookie season, I went out literally hours into the game. And I probably wouldn't have a career with MTV right now. So hell yeah, going out first. But getting closer and closer. I just think each season you learn what works, what doesn't, what I need to work on. And I just keep getting stronger and just more confident within the game. So I feel really lucky to just be part of it, honestly.
I think everybody watching this and everybody in general at some point has watched the challenge. And I think all of us at some point in our lives, we try to imagine ourselves on the show. Like, how would we do on it? Like, will TJ Lavin think I'm tough, or really think I'm a wuss and send me home with bad vibes, like all that stuff. So getting there and like getting chosen and being part of it for the first time, was it kind of surreal for you being on the show and arriving to that first challenge, like seeing some of the people that have been mainstays on the show for so long?
1000%. I mean, my rookie season was just crazy because I had gotten leaked probably a month prior to going into the show. So all the fans were going nuts online. And I think I just had this like pressure coming off of a win from Big Brother that I had to perform. And then you pull up and you see all of these freaking vets. And like, for me now to be considered a vet kind of in their shoes, it's so weird to me because I still till this day remember the very first day I met all of them. And it's surreal. It's intense. I think everybody says, oh yeah, I'll do the challenge. Watching from home, it looks way easier. I'll be the first to say, like, watching the challenges we do, be like, oh yeah, I could do that. But when you're there and you have the pressure on and you have the people that are, everybody's a competitor and brings something to the show. It looks a lot easier watching it from home, but dude, the game is intense, and just the living, I think just the whole aspect of the game, the social aspect, the living locked in a house for 2 months with crazy people. It's definitely harder than it seems, for sure.
So now you have an interesting challenge in a different way. Friday night, August 6th, Big Brother US versus Big Brother Canada. You're going to be facing Adam Pike. Before we get into the actual combat itself, like, when was this brought to your attention and how did you react to it?
So I got reached out to do this box. First off, with all the YouTubers and all the TikTokers and everybody kind of doing these celebrity fights, I instantly was like, why haven't Big Brother's, like, how come we haven't done one? Our fans are so invested in everything that we do. They support us. I mean, I've been off of the show now 4 years and I still have so many fans from Big Brother that support me. So I was like, our fans are ride or die. Why don't we do this? And then I got reached out, I want to say like February, March, right before I left to go film the new season of the challenge. They reached out to me like 3 weeks before. Adele's been great in setting everything up. And they let me know what was going down, who I would be. They kind of gave me the option to who I was going to fight. I mean, they were switching in and out fighters to match me up because I could either somebody didn't want to fight me or they couldn't find somebody like my size and my weight to box me. So I'm glad that it's Adam. Adam's a competitor. Adam's a tough fucking dude. So it's gonna be a showdown, and I'm excited. I love competing, and I love, putting myself against like strong people like that and having to go up against them. So I'm stoked for our fight. I'm really excited for it.
What have you made for, I mean, obviously he's been a part of you wanting to put something like this together and you sort of having this concept, like, why haven't we done this? But we've seen what Jake Paul has been doing. I mean, the man, love him or hate him, he's carved out a very successful niche in this landscape, and people are interested in it, whether they want to see him win or see him get knocked out. Like, what have you thought about what he's been able to do?
I think he's a genius. I think Jake Paul, even though, I think he's so young, he's so successful, and he's a complete genius. I think he's the one that kind of started all of this. And it's just so smart from his end. And now look what it's turned into. I hope that this is the first of many Big Brother fights or reality TV events that we do. And I hope that it is a huge success. I know that the fans are excited. I know that all the fighters, all of us are really excited and stoked to be kind of the first ones to do it. But yeah, I mean, Jake Paul kind of paved the way to do it for all like social influencers or whatever you want to call it. And now we're doing it. So I just hope that it's a huge success so that we can continue doing these fights, because I think that it's going to be a hit. For sure, it's going to be a hit. And I'm so excited to be part of it.
Are you personally a combat sports fan? Are you a boxing fan? Do you watch MMA or anything like that?
Yeah. So my dad's a huge MMA fight. I'm Cuban, so I grew up watching boxing. Obviously Mayweather, big Mayweather fight, a big Mayweather fan. Sorry. So yeah, I grew up watching fighting sports and all that stuff. So yeah, just to be, I mean, my dad always said it, either I was going to be a lawyer or a boxer, because I'm so outspoken and I have a strong personality. So I guess I'm kind of living up the dream and doing this boxing match. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's sort of your combat experience? I think everyone's been in some sort of scrap at some point in their lives, but like, where'd you gauge your actual like boxing experience?
Oh, dude. I mean, I grew up playing sports, and I grew up playing football and baseball, and I grew up in fights, in and out of fights my whole life. Not primarily because of me. I was always either defending one of my cousins or something like that. So I'm a scrapper. I'm a fighter for sure. In training, I actually started training. Growing up, I would do boxing just for like cardio, because I love training and doing like hit training and things like that. And boxing is just a whole different animal. But I think I've been training, I want to say like 2 months and a half before leading into this fight. And I've been doing 2-a-days now. With a private Cuban trainer here in Miami. So I don't have much experience, but I have been preparing myself for the fight for sure.
Who's training you, if you don't mind me asking?
His name is Russell, and it's Empire Fit. I've been going to the gym here for 3 years, and he has his whole team there. So I've been working with them for 3 years now. I'm really just stoked to have them in my corner. They know me well. They know how I train. So yeah, they're pushing me hard, and yeah, I'm excited to just have them like represent me kind of.
Have you met, I mean, obviously you knew who Adam was, and you know he's a tough guy, but have you like hung out with him? Like, are you guys friendly?
No, we've never met. So yeah, we're friendly. Definitely. Adam, I was a fan of him on his season of Big Brother. The guy killed it on that season. And then he's been a fan of mine on Big Brother and just very supportive with everything that I do with the challenge and on social media. We've never met. But I do know that, we are, even though we're friendly and we get along, I think that we're both very competitive, and I don't like to lose. I know that he doesn't like to lose. So I think that, when it comes to like stepping into the ring, I think all that friendly stuff is going to stay outside of the ring. And I think that we're going to put on a good show and a good fight, because we've talked about it back and forth and thrown like jabs, like, I don't think none of us want to lose. So I think that I think our fight's going to be one of the best ones, honestly, if I'm being real with you, because we're ready to just get in there and just kill it. Yeah.
What are some of the things that you guys are saying to each other back and forth?
I've been gone, but when I got home, I've been gone filming. When I got home, I saw all the things that he was saying on social media and just talking all this shit and doing all these funny posts. I was like, all right, bet. I'm not one to do that. I mean, even when I have real castmates coming on me when the show's airing, I don't go back and forth on the internet. I don't like it. But I was like, all right, well, I'll see you August 6th, I guess. Like, but yeah, for the most part, it's friendly banter. But I think that, he's been training really hard. The guy's been putting in work in the gym. So if anything, it's just pushing me to train even harder leading up to the fight. Yeah, for the most part, we get along. But I think when it comes down to it, we're gonna scrap, dude. It's gonna be a bloodbath for sure.
Yeah, of course. In anything you do, and anyone who's watched a challenge can tell this, it's pretty easy to see. You want to win. And I certainly understand that. But while you have an opponent that you'll be battling, there's always like, when you do something like this, there's always these small battles within ourselves, like trying something new. You're vulnerable. You're in front of doing this thing in front of all these people who are going to be paying attention to you. Like, so outside of just wins and losses, what are you hoping to accomplish on August 6th in the boxing ring?
I think for me, it's like you just said, it's challenging myself. For me, like when I'm scared to do something, that's when I jump headfirst into it. You know, when I first got asked, I was like, I have no professional fighting experience. I've never truly boxed. I've done like workouts and things like that, incorporating boxing, but like trained like a boxer. I have no experience. But for me, it was like, all right, am I scared to do it? I'm not scared to do it, but is it something new? Is it outside of the box? It's something that I've never done. Hell yeah. And I love watching boxing matches. I love watching MMA and all that stuff. So I was like, fuck it, put me in there. And I think for me, it's more of like challenging, win or lose, whatever does happen on August 6th. It's more of like, I had the balls and the courage to step into the ring, especially against somebody like Adam, and just go in there and give it everything that I got. And for me, it's like, I'm motivated by fear and I'm driven by fear. And like, I think that no matter what criticism or what people say about me, I'm never going to back down from something because of people's, what people think about it. It's more of like challenging myself and taking on this new task and just giving it everything that I got and putting in the work to just perform and do well and put on a good fight. So I think for me, it's just the growth in the whole process of the training and leading up to the fight and just like proving to myself that, even if it's something new, I can tackle it and give it my all and just compete and put my heart into it. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
When did you get back from filming?
Dude, I got back from filming like, I want to say about not even 2 weeks. Okay. So I got off the show and then I traveled for a few days. And then, I got home probably like a week. It's been like a week now. I think like a week and a half. Yeah.
Did you watch the Dustin Poirier Conor McGregor fight on Saturday?
I did watch it. Yeah, I did watch it. Disappointment, dude. What a disappointment, man. I mean, I had money on McGregor, but you can't predict those type of things when they happen. You're an injury like that. So and I was in the McGregor fight in Vegas a few years ago. So that fight lasted. Who was it against? Was it against Cowboy? It lasted like 40 seconds. So I really wanted to see. I was like, dude, I really wanted to see him put on a good fight. But it's like you never know what's gonna happen in the ring, dude, and that's something that's really scary. But yeah, I was just disappointed with that fight.
Yeah, at least you don't have to check leg kicks or anything with this.
Fuck. Like an MMA fight, I need like 5 months to train for that. Boxing, we could throw hands, but MMA, that's a whole different ball game. That's a different animal. No. I would need way more time. I wouldn't be filming. I wouldn't be training for a show and then going straight into an MMA fight. Fuck that.
That's brutal. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see that world where the celebrity fights happen in MMA. It'd be interesting to see.
Be down.
You would be down for that?
Fuck yeah, I would be down. I would just need like a solid 4 months of training before I would step into the ring with anybody.
That'd be so wild. I'd be interested to see how that would play out. So how does this all go down August 6th? Like you said, it's gonna be very exciting. You and Josh are very competitive guys. Big Brother US versus Big Brother Canada. What's the headline gonna read when the fight's over?
I think the headline's going to read that, Big Brother US won most of the matches. And I'm telling you, I'm not going in there like holding back. I'm going in I'm going ham. Like I'm literally just giving it everything that I have. Obviously not trying to hurt Adam. I don't think that's what we're trying to do here. But I think that and we've talked about it like so many times, like we're ready to put on a fucking fight. And I don't know who's going to win it, but I know that I'm going to give it everything that I got. I know Adam's going to put up a good fight. And I think that it's going to be one of the best fights that day. But I'm just hoping for the win, honestly, just putting in the work and just hoping for the win for sure.
Before we let you go, I did want to ask you about something that goes beyond TV and beyond boxing and things of that nature. And that is what is currently going on in Cuba right now, because you of course, as you've talked about before, you are a Cuban American. I believe your parents came over from there, and maybe I heard this wrong, but your grandfather, maybe your great grandfather spent time in prison for fighting for a lot of the same things that are being fought for now over there. And as people have probably seen by now, the pandemic has really crushed Cuba, and not just because of the pandemic, but there's been food shortage and lack of supply of medicine. Now it's summertime and there's blackouts and there's inflation and it's scary stuff, man. And now there's this positive COVID test spikes. Like things are just really bad over there. And the people of Cuba have just said, like, you know what? We're not going to take this line down anymore. We're going to fight back. So I sort of wanted to get your thoughts on what is going on over there and what it's been like for you to watch what is happening.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Today, actually this morning, we were able to communicate with one of my dad's brother and my uncle and speak to our cousins and stuff like that. And I mean, I was just bawling on the phone for an hour. It's so sad. It's gotten so bad. And people don't understand that there is no other option but kind of to protest. They don't have another option. They're starving. Inflation, like you said, is so high. People can't afford to even go to a grocery store. There's no food. Even if they go to a grocery store, there is no food. So there's no food, there's no medication, and it's just gotten so bad. People are dying just because of COVID. It's been happening, but it's so bad because they don't have the basic necessities that they need. So it's really heartbreaking. And in knowing that we can't do anything to help, that's where I'm struggling because I have the money. If I wanted to send money right now to help, I can't. The government doesn't give it to our family. So it's really hard. But I think that what I can do from my end and what I've been doing is just trying to speak as much about it, bring awareness to it. I'm getting so many messages and so many DMs from people that have no idea what's going on in Cuba, which is crazy to me. So just bringing awareness with the thousands or 30 or 40, whatever people watch my story, just to bring awareness to it. It's something that I feel like that's the only thing that I can do. And it's helping me kind of, deal with it and just feeling like I'm doing something, because I'm feeling helpless and not being able to help my family. It is really sad, but I'm really grateful for the support and just like, I'm hoping that things change because it's just heartbreaking, honestly.
What do your parents think about it? Because they came over in the 80s, right?
So my parents came over in the 80s. My mom was really young. I think my mom was 15 and my dad was 18. My dad was homeless for about 3 years in Cuba. His family was just living in the streets at one point because they spoke out. So my family spoke out against the dictatorship and basically the whole town turned on them. So it was like, every single day they were getting, either their house was getting bombed with stuff, people egging their house, like just attacking them and getting slandered. So it got so bad that my dad had to leave the country. Like my dad came in a boat from Cuba and fled. And then my mom was requested, like back in the 80s, you could request your family. So she went from Costa Rica to the States, but it's just that struggle stays with them. Like, it's like that what they went through it's been years and it's still like my parents can't even get through a full conversation talking about that story and what happened to them in Cuba. So it is really sad that is still happening in our country and that our people are still going through that. It's heartbreaking, but I think for once, my dad was telling me this morning, he's like, people never had the courage to kind of speak up against a dictatorship. They were so scared. And I think now with social media and they're seeing what they're creating and all the noise that they're making, now people are finding the courage and the strength to do it. So I think that's why I just want to share more, because I know that the Cuban people are finding support in everything that is put on social media. So yeah, it is really tough, but I just pray that, I pray for my family, I pray for my country, and I just pray that things start to change. But I appreciate you bringing that up. That means a lot, for sure, and just bringing more awareness to it. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And is your dad excited that you're boxing? He must be going,
oh my God,
losing his mind right now.
He wants to fly out to the event, and I'm thinking about it because my dad is so passionate like me and so emotional that if I get hit, he'll probably jump on the ring. So I'm like, no, but he is so excited, dude. He's a huge boxing fan and a huge MMA fan. So I think I'm going to have to bring him out to the fight. But yeah, he's so excited. He's probably my biggest fan right now. Like hyped for sure.
I think I lost. There he is. He's back. Yeah, I mean, you could make you're back. You're lost. So you could make a weekend out of it. You could fight, and then you could drive to Houston and go to the UFC fight the next night.
Yeah, I think that's going to be cool for sure.
There you go. Sorry. It's all good. But well said, everything about what's going on in your country and everything. It's a tough spot, man. But of course, your nickname is being advertised as the Cuban Wrecking Ball. So you'll be fighting with with a lot of pride, and you will do so on August 6th. Big Brother US versus Big Brother Canada in Arlington, Texas. It's around a 4-hour drive from Houston. So the site of UFC 265, a lot going on in the Lone Star State when it comes to combat sports. And that includes this event put on by Celebrity Net Fights Productions. Josh, thank you for the time, man. All the best to you with the rest of training, and all the best to you in the fight on August 6th. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Take care.